Well, welcome back to the second part of the interview with Gunralph from the movement of Jesus Yoga. And we're going to talk a little bit more questions from viewers, and it's a follow-up questions from the video that you should really watch first, and it's called Understanding Foot Fetish and the Divine Feminine, and you find this interview also on my channel. So let's get straight into more questions. Let me read what a viewer wrote. Would you describe your foot channel as a part of your mission to mitigate or diminish the sexual component of feet and get others to awaken their spirituality? In other words, are you trying to show people that feet doesn't have or shouldn't have a sexual component that many people in society view it as?
So the question was how you see it, and I can answer that too, of course. It is important to understand that we are in a state of energy. So we are in a specific state, and we have the systems of chakras where we can say, like in the lower body parts, the chakras. And
chakras, energy centers.
Energy centers.
Yeah. In the spine, there's different energy centers located in different parts of your body. It's a very yogic thing. I know you're not all yogis, so you may not know that. But we have energy centers in our body. So
yeah, and we can raise the energy level, and then we will experience how we have a different state of being. So when we are connected with the lower parts of the energy centers, they are connected with the genitals, for example.
Yeah, they're in the pelvis, for example, right.
And corresponding to the state of energy and to these energy centers is the state of being, and we can connect the love that we have and the kind of love to our energy state. And from the low energy we have the love aspect of lust, where we experience lust. From higher levels, like from the heart chakra, we have a different kind of love. It's raising from romantic love to love for other people, love for children, and we raise to higher energy levels where we experience love and oneness with God and with people around us, and so we can raise the energy. And it's not about saying this is a wrong thing, and this is we should not do this. We have to understand it's a growing process, and we might start in this low energy level, and there is an importance to this low energy level and to this kind of reacting with our environment. We have a biology, and from our biological being we have different functions that are important. When we are attacked, we have to be in the now, we have to run away, we have to defend ourselves, and from our biological standpoint, it's important to make a family and children. This is like our biological programming, and we have aggression, we have fear, and we have lust, like as very basic states that we can be in. It's not that they are bad, they are important, but depending on the situation, and it's about in which state of energy am I living. It has to fit the environment and the situations that I am. So for example, when we are living in an egocentric world, disconnected from God, then I have to find my purpose and when I am and create my identity. And when I am in a low state of energy, then I will not care about the others. I will go out and want to fulfill my desires, and I will not care if we destroy the planet or if what I do will have negative effects. So for example, with understanding foot fetish and sexuality, this is directly connected with we destroying our planet. So we can live in a state of energy and have a lifestyle that is destructive, because we are going for direct receiving of pleasure or experiencing of pleasure, and direct instant fulfillment of gratification and needs. And yes, we can develop a negative lifestyle. There are people that are going to internet and consume porn and become like porn addicted. And when we are in this situation where we have a lifestyle where we go from one high and then into depression, and then we walk in depression and search for the new high, and then we fall in depression, and then we don't care to get our high.
How we get it almost.
How we get it. It's like if it's destructive to us, to our relations, to our family, for our job, for our career, and if it destroys the planet, if it's a bad thing for the planet, then we don't care. And when we go into a higher state and we raise, for example, we reach like act from the heart chakra, then we walk in a higher level that we experience. We are more fulfilled. We are acting in love, walking in love. And of course, in this situation, we will also have a different approach about lust. It's not that the lust is bad, but it's embedded in a higher state of energy, and we can experience lust and we can experience sexual pleasures with a partner in a relation, for example. And we are not constantly trying to fill the whole life, the whole level with this high peaks. It's not working.
So it doesn't dominate us. The lust is not dominating us. So we're not the only goal we have is that lust state anymore. It can be part of our life, but not the center of the life.
Yes, exactly. And also we can experience that what we expected from our behavior and from our lust to bring it to our life, what didn't work, will come to a higher form of love now. The love that we experience when we are walking from the heart chakra. Then we experience our life will develop very well, because we have good relations with other people, and we are starting altruistic behavior, that we do something for others. We start to care what are the needs of other people. We start to care about our planet. We are not going out and get everything what we can, and then only to find out this is just not what I wanted or what I needed. We are starting to feel more fulfilled, and then we can even share about our experience, and we start to care for our planet, like that the society was built on this low needs, in this low state of energy, and in a situation separated from God, and where we have to create purpose and create attention and build up the ego, and the ego wants more and more, and then we destroy the planet more and more. So all this is like connected, and it's about raising the energy and being able to experience on all levels what is there to experience, and to grow, just to grow and create a lifestyle that is healthy for yourself, healthy for the people around you, and healthy for the planet. And this is the growing process. And the other way is the way down, that you get more and more into a need, into an urge, and you expect more, and then you experience a high, and then you fall into a depression, and so you getting you want the next kick, and this is just it's self-destructive, and it's destructive for the society, for mankind, for the planet, everything. So we have to grow, and foot fetish or other fetishes, depending on what it is, it in itself, it's not a bad thing. And already the word fetish means that it comes from a religious context. Already says there is something more going on. So foot fetish can be an entrance to spiritual growth.
A step ladder to spiritual growth.
And this is what it's about. It's not about saying to experiences this way, in a sexual way, is bad. It is just the beginning, and you can grow into higher forms of love and into a higher state of being, and this is much more and better, and you will experience, if you go these steps, it will transform your life, and this is what it's all about.
You know, I have to think about it. You have little babies and children, and they start really small physically, but also mentally, and like a 2-year-old, like the whole universe surrounds them. That's how they feel, and they want the pleasure, or whatever they want it now, or they're throwing a fit. Now you expect a child mentally not to stay the same way. If that, a 15-year-old who's almost a grown person, even physically, is still throwing a fit and acting like a 2-year-old, that is really not pretty. So we expect not only their physical appearance to grow, but also the mental state. And we have a lot of older people that are physically older, but still acting like a 2-year-old, spiritually 2-year-old. They haven't grown, and we are expected as people to grow, not only physical, but also spiritual and mentally. So it's not desirable to stay in this low baby state. We're designed to grow. That's one of the purposes of our life, is to develop and grow. Right?
Yeah.
So let's get to the next question. Guys who stay in the lust state when it comes to feed have more to do with the nature of the community itself that feed and their continued sexualization of a non-sexual body part. I would also include models who are just as culpable. Do you think foot fetish models contribute to the low-level state of love, that is lust, by continually feeding into the feelings of lust and desires? This isn't to say guys should not be responsible for what they are or say or how they act, but that it is a cycle of some sort of feeding the desires of those involved, which often bleeds into other areas of our life.
Yes, we have to understand this cycle. a woman can only really express what she is.
Which is, yeah.
And give what she has.
Yeah.
And so a woman that is in the state of the lower chakras is of course radiating in this energy of the state and acting out of this energy state.
Yeah.
So there are women that feel a calling. So we're now changing the perspective, not from the foot fetishist, but from a woman that is feeling a calling to a higher purpose, to radiate energy, to lead people to a transformational experience and to lead people into a better life. And of course, not every woman out there that is showing their feet has this calling. Some just do it for the money and they even tell it. But you have a lot of spiritual women there that do like psychology work, you can say, and they help men transform their lives with special experiences. And it's very interesting that there's also going on religious components where some women call themselves goddess or are called goddess by their followers. And so there is this trying to make this connection. And it's very interesting to see that some of them even do yoga. So they raise their energy or have other spiritual practices. And so, of course, they can radiate even in higher energy and bring some people to a higher energy. And it's very interesting what is going on there. Most times, of course, there are women that create an illusion, and then there are followers who experience this illusion and have their experience in this illusion, and then they have like a climax, and then it like breaks down because they understand it's only an illusion. And then there are others where they have longer lasting experiences and also real transformations. And it's important to understand that it's like a field of experience, and men are going out, they search for a religious experience. Some are knowing it, some are not knowing it, and do it unconsciously. And it's about getting rid of ego. They experience, when they surrender, they're getting rid of ego, and then they are open to receive. And when they get rid of ego, they lose all this pressure what society gives them and their expectations of who do they have to be, what do they have to do, when are they worthy or not, is not decided anymore by society. Some are even going to the point where they want to acknowledge unworthiness and want to be called unworthy, because this is part of getting rid of all these expectations from society. And in this moment they become free, and then something in this moment, something new can come, can appear, can grow, can start. And also they want to connect to something higher. So there is all this so-called goddesses that are on their way, because they feel this has this component where they want to connect to something higher, to something more purposeful, because they acknowledge they cannot create their own purpose. The purpose is a gift from something higher. So we have role play going on there with people that are consciousness, and also role play going on there with people that are unconsciousness. So it's very interesting to look into what is going on, and sometimes it's a real thing, and sometimes it's only a shadow of what it should be.
And sometimes it might be even unhealthy. So
Yes,
because when they surrender and they're ready to receive, but for example, the woman cannot give anything because she doesn't have anything, or very negative energy, then that can also be very negative, because the person that is just opened up will receive the negative energy or nothing. And that's really should be frustrating.
Yes, and there is one more danger to it. The danger is that you have this experience, it feels good, it feels right, but it's about only this one experience. And since you're not growing or receiving the impulse to grow, you are always coming back to experience this initial event, this initial experience, and it's not going further. So you can become addicted to this one moment.
Yeah.
And then you experience, this one moment is good, I feel so good in it. But after you had your climax, already it's going down, and sometimes you feel guilty, or you don't understand what's going on, and you come into, so it's like, for some it's like switching from 1 second to the other, where like everything is gone, it was an illusion and it's gone. And then they come back, and always in the hope that this initialization, this event is really happening and bringing them further.
And the feeling will last. Yeah. And so you can also come back and almost to an addiction again, where you're just wanting, needing to have that kick, and back and forth. And it's not, you're going in circles. You're not going anywhere. You're just going in a circle. And this is not healthy either. So let's get to the next question. How does one know if they have divine feet? Is there a religious practice to make your feet more divine?
Yeah, some feel a calling that they are chosen by the Holy Mother to bring divine energy, to bring light to mankind, to be a guide for others, and to bring the gifts from the Holy Mother. And they will really experience some sensations even in the feet. Of course, to do this, you need to be connected to the Holy Mother. And yes, basically every woman could do this with the connection with the Holy Mother, and having the calling. And yes, you can do some spiritual practices. It already starts with yoga. When you do yoga practices or other practices that will raise your energy, then this already starts a process where you radiate and express a different state of energy. Important to understand is that it's one part is the spiritual practice, and the other part is the calling. Some women are called by the Holy Mother to do this, and it's important to understand the difference in the concept of the spiritual practice and consecration. For example, a priest in the Catholic Church, of course it's good if the priest has a good spiritual practice, and he will express the fruits of the spiritual practice he does, and radiate this and share this with other people. But the gifts the priest can give with the Holy Sacraments are not something he could earn by doing a spiritual practice. He needs to have a consecration with laying hands on, a bishop is laying hands on a person, on a man, and consecrating this person, making this person a channel for God, and installing in this man the possibilities and the skills and that it is possible that he can give these gifts.
He gets an office. He gets an office.
Yes.
Like he's in a state of giving he has an office.
And it's also a transformation of this person. The person becomes a real channel. So the same thing is with this women. So we have to have the calling. Many are called. And then we have this concept of the spiritual practice that will do already something. But with the consecration, then the real big things will happen. And so a woman that is doing spiritual practice and is consecrated will be a channel for the divine energy and a tool for the Holy Mother. So we have a real line here. We have the line, the male line, the priesthood line, and we have the female line connected to the Holy Mother that will bring the gifts of the Holy Mother to mankind.
Are people born with divine feet? And have you ever met a child with divine feet?
So, born with a calling, and when God gives you a purpose and a calling, He already gives the basic installments of the gifts you need to fulfill the calling. So a woman with this calling already has like an installment for this, like it's not activated, but it's already there. And we have another concept in the Eastern tradition, like in Hinduism, where an incarnation comes to earth, a realized person or avatar comes already born as a channel for the divine to earth and walking on earth to bring blessings to mankind. And these women born as an avatar, some real incarnations, already come with this.
We have that in Christianity too. John the Baptist, for example, was already an incarnation. Everything was installed in him. So it's not only the Eastern cultures, we have that also in Christianity. And it's written down. It's not the only case, by the way. So there is the concept of incarnation even in Christianity.
Yeah, of course. St. Paul is speaking about it in the Bible. It's just that in the Christian part, incarnations don't play that much of a role right now.
Yeah.
Because we have now this the priesthood line that is bringing the gifts. So of course Mother Mary was an avatar of the Holy Mother, for example, and bringing birth to the incarnation of Jesus Christ, the Son of God, who was also an incarnation. So of course this is like a central point of Christianity too. It's just that now in this time where we live in Christianity, we have the priesthood, the male part, and establishing now the female part from the Holy Mother. So this is what is going on right now, because right now, in fact, we are living in, or should be living in a matriarchy, because we had a time when God the Father was on earth. So he was with the Israelites. And then later we had a time when the Son was on earth, so that when Jesus came here. And now we have a time after Jesus went, the Holy Spirit, the Holy Mother, came down to earth. So now we are living, or should be living, acknowledging the facts in a matriarchy. Then again, Jesus will come and then will give it all to the Father again. And so we have different ages. And right now we are living in the age of the Divine Feminine.
And you can see this through all the apparitions of the mother. By the way, she never said she's Mary. It's an apparition of the mother. She said even in the apparition of Amsterdam, who was once Mary. So the mother of all nations who was once Mary. It's the time of the mother, and she even appeared in different parts of the world so much in this time, more than ever, because it is the time of the mother.
Yeah. And the Holy Mother incarnated into Mary. This is why she said she once was Mary. And so Mary was an avatar. And yeah, now we are guided by the Holy Mother, and like over the centuries you have this very famous apparitions like from Guadalupe and Fatima and so on. There is the leadership of the Holy Mother, if we only would listen really and do what she says. But the leadership is there. So now we have the leadership for mankind of the Holy Mother. Holy Mother appears in different locations and gives messages. So we are led by the Holy Mother.
And it's always the message to connect to her. And then she will also bring us to Jesus. Through connecting to her, you're not losing anything of God or of Jesus. No, she's helper. She's the helper. And she's always saying, come to me, I'm your mother. I am going to draw you close to God. She's always saying, connect to me. Consecrate yourself to me. And where is she leading people to? She's leading people to God, not to only like herself in an egoistic way. That was always the message, because she wants to help mankind. She wants to protect them and help them through these difficult and even dark times that we're experiencing today. So let's get to the last question. My question for you is, do you feel that having a fetish is a block which keeps those who have it from spiritual enlightenment or spiritual fulfillment?
Yeah, this is an important question, and it cannot be answered the way with yes or no, because it's depending on how do you deal with it and how do you use it. So we just need to understand it's there, and it's there because you are looking for something. It's installed in you, and it should lead you to connect with who you really are, to connect you with God, and to experience this growing process. But if you don't use it the right way, then of course it can lead into a self-destructive lifestyle. And we already talked about this. It does not only have bad influence on you and your lifestyle, but on everybody around you, even on the whole environment. But we need to understand this is an entrance. This is like the first connection that many people make on their way, on their search for the divine and for reconnecting with the divine. Reconnecting is religion. Religion means reconnecting with God. So you have this foot fetish as a religious experience that will lead you into growing into your real self and growing in your relation with God, and is bringing you to spiritual experiences and into a spiritual lifestyle, then it's a very good thing, and it's important to really understand what is going on, to understand what foot fetish is, that you are on the search for filling the lacks that you feel inside by giving up, surrendering your ego, that your ego will be destroyed, that you get rid of these bondages from society, from these expectations, and from the urge to create your own identity by ignoring who you really are. So this has to be like destroyed through the feet of the Holy Mother. And then you are open to receive something new, to receive the energy that you need to grow, to raise your own energy and to grow into who you really are, instead of living an illusion and living the expectations of others. So this is a way to get rid of a false, illusionary identity and growing into your own identity and growing into your lifestyle, your energies that you have and the state of energies, and to reestablish and grow into your relation with God.
Well, I thank you so much for coming again on this channel, and we'll be happy to have you again. Please, viewers, if you have more questions, feel free to ask them. You can find my email address through the About section of this YouTube channel. You go there to my website and then you find the email. You can email me your questions or leave them underneath this post or on Instagram. I'm also found on Instagram if you look into the About section, and we would love to hear more questions. Think about these things, go deeper. And it's okay to have questions and to have doubts. It's really important to experience this though, and let it sink into your heart. Really think about this. Open yourself up for this, because this is a great stepping stone and opportunity for you to grow in spirituality. We thank you very much. Thank you.